I feel like anything that I eat out of a bowl immediately boosts my serotonin levels, and sometimes a big bowl of noodles is just what the doctor ordered. And we've been getting a lot of Chinese takeaways recently because, as some of you know, I lack the will to cook after a long day of work. But actually, if you've got some good knife skills, this meal will take you less than 20 minutes to put together. It's chow mein-esque minus the oyster sauce and using arrowroot noodles instead of egg noodles. The full recipe is in the caption. A one-pot meal goes a long way in my book, especially on a Sunday when all I want to do is relax. And for this warming chorizo and pepper orzo, all you have to do is throw everything in a pot and you have a delicious, hearty, wholesome meal with minimal cleaning up to do at the end. One thing I would say is that orzo can be a bit of a bugger, so you do have to stir it regularly or it does stick to the bottom of the pan. But it's worth the effort and it makes for great meal prep. The full recipe is in the caption. On a rainy day like today, all I crave is comfort food. And what's more comforting than beans and sausages? It's a heavenly combo, especially when topped with some crisp caramelized onions, which in my opinion make anything better. So sweat them down slowly in salt and olive oil until they're sticky and delicious. In a separate pan, fry shallots, garlic and a bay leaf, and then add in your beans and a healthy dollop of Dijon mustard. Let simmer until thick and then top with your sausages, onions and greens. I probably should have made a series out of this because I'm bringing you another dish on yogurt. And shock horror, it's crispy smashed roasted potatoes, which, as you've probably gathered by now, I'm very obsessed with. Wow. And this time I've drizzled over a punchy herby dressing loaded with capers and chili that perfectly complements the garlicky yogurt. So parboil and smash those potatoes up and get them super crisp in the oven before spreading them generously on your yogurt and finish with lashings of the herby dressing.
Guys, we have got something so delicious to share with you.
Rowdy and I came together to make this incredible hearty beanie situation.
You are going to love it. It's wholesome and warming and perfect for this time of year.
It's as colourful as the rainbow and makes for a great batch cook or meal prep.
You can totally customize the veg, but we went for cabbage, celery, carrot, corn, and sweet potato.
Then mixed in our spices, beans and tomatoes.
Let it simmer until it's thick and juicy, and then top it with avocado, sour cream, and a whole lot of crunchy tortillas.
Aubergine can be a little bit of a funny vegetable. People either love it or hate it. Hopefully this recipe will encourage the haters to become lovers. I think it all comes down to how you prepare and cook it. It's a labour of love and requires adequate attention. And this is miso glazed aubergine with very gingery, garlicky butter beans. In my experience, aubergines like a high heat and lots of oil. So once they've been halved, score them with a knife and let that oil penetrate deep into the flesh. Roast them skin side up for 25 minutes and then brush on the miso glaze and roast again until soft and gooey. I used to be a personal chef, and this is my series of what I like to cook for myself after a long day of work when I just can't be bothered. And this is a riff on pasta and broccoli, except I've added some homemade pesto. Now obviously if you want to save on time, buy your pesto shop bought, that's no problem at all, but a few of you have been asking for my recipes, so I'm finally showing you. I used cashews because I didn't have pine nuts on hand, and nutritional yeast instead of parmesan, and then of course it's fresh basil, garlic and olive oil. And then I mixed this through with the pasta and broccoli with a touch of cream and a lot of lemon. I recently shared with you that I spent about 7 months traveling around India when I was younger. I was exploring mostly rural areas, and I was often invited to stay with wonderful families in their guest houses. And when I was there, I took every opportunity to learn from the mothers and daughters who were always cooking. And whilst this has by no means made me a pro on Indian cuisine, I definitely learned a few hacks. The biggest one being toast your spices raw in a pan before you do anything. It'll release all of those amazing aromas and make the flavour that much better. It's a step I never skip. When I was 23 years old, I bought myself a one-way ticket to India. Travelled mostly by myself, starting in the southern region in Varkala and then working my way up towards the north and then finally crossing over into Nepal. Throughout the course of my travels, I became totally obsessed with Indian cuisine. Particularly when I was in the north, I tried a curry that I had never tried before. It was made up of red kidney beans and called a rajma dal. It's creamy, hearty and delicious, and it's made of beans, so obviously I loved it. And this is my take on the dish. The full recipe's in the caption.